What is up, guys? Jeremy here, and welcome to a unique tutorial in which I'm going to show you guys, and this is how I make custom thumbnails for my YouTube videos. Now I'm also going to include what I do quickly to make the kind of thumbnail for my blog as well, just because it's just a resize and it's really quick and easy. But if you guys saw my last top 10 tweaks video, I will be making the custom thumbnail for that video in this video, and it's literally back to back. I have that top 10 tweak video rendering out right now, so it's still rendering through Final Cut Pro. I almost forgot the name of it there. I use Premiere a lot at work, and I like using Final Cut at home on my Mac because it's a little bit better in my opinion. But anyways, so we are doing a custom thumbnail for that. This is going to be a longer tutorial because this takes a little bit of time. So the first thing that I do is, as soon as I am done recording that video, is I'll use my Nikon and I will take a picture of basically like my springboard or a specific tweak or something like that, that kind of looks appealing. So we're going to first go into Adobe Lightroom here. This is probably one of my favorite programs for photography. Here's the photo in which I used from yesterday on the video, should you update to iOS 8. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to File, we're going to go to Import Photos and Video, and we are into my SD card here. So now here are the 4 photos that I took after I recorded that video. So we're going to go ahead and open up these, and I'm going to pretty much pick out whichever one I think looks the sharpest. As you can see, these are all actually very, very sharp. That one is a little off. I think I'll probably go with that one. That one looks good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the grid view, and I'm going to uncheck all, select the one that I like, and I'm going to quickly on the lower right here click on Import. So we're going to pull this image in. I'm going to double click it to expand it. I'm going to go to Develop, and this is where the magic happens, for photography wise. I use this for, like I said, photography in general. I use this more than just my, for custom thumbnails. I use this for a lot of my photography, if I can talk, a lot of my photography pictures for those of you that follow me on Instagram. So this is obviously a little bit off for, color and all that. So there's no real defined way to do this. Basically, it's just whatever looks best to you. And there is my top 10 tweaks video is done rendering. So I will start uploading that as soon as I'm done making this custom thumbnail. So I'm going to bump up my exposure just a little bit here, so that, as you can see, that lightens it right up. Looks really good. We're also going to bump the contrast up too, because that always makes it look a little bit better. And it's kind of, not really, but just slightly, to me, it looks a little yellow. So I'm going to slide the temperature here a little bit more towards blue. That might be just a little bit too much. It's back. Let's see here. It's probably hard for you guys to even see these adjustments. Right there is really good for me. That looks, very realistic for color-wise. I like to drop the blacks down. It tends to make it look a little bit more punchy. As you guys can see, the colors of the icons on my springboard looks a bit more punchy now that I dropped the blacks down. Maybe I'll let off on that just a little bit. And then the whites I'll turn up just slightly as well, which will give the whites more of a white look. Clarity as well, I'll bring up the clarity just slightly. You can really overdo the clarity. As you guys can see, that looks way too gritty. So just bumping that up very slightly makes it, a little bit more clear. And that's pretty much what I'm going to go with right there. That's a really quick Final Cut, or a really quick Lightroom edit on my photo. So now we're just going to go ahead and go up to File, and I'm going to Export, and just click on Enter. That will go to my desktop, as you guys will see. So there it is right in the upper right. So we'll let that load up, and then the program in which I use to create my custom thumbnails is called Pixelator on the Mac. I don't know if this is available on Windows or not, but this is, in my opinion, probably like the best way to go about it, just because this program is so simple and easy. So we're going to start a new project, and I'm going to make the width 1280 and then the height 720. That is the dimensions in which I create my custom thumbnails for YouTube. So we'll go ahead and click on OK. And as you can see, this is what we're starting with. So here we go. This is where we're going to have to be kind of creative. So I'm just going to drag this photo in which I just edited and drop it here. And as you guys can see, my Nikon D600 takes pretty monstrous pictures. So I'm just going to quickly resize this by dragging this little box here. I forget what the actual name of that is, but I'll drag it down until it's a size that I like. And as you guys can probably tell, with that camera. As you can see, I'm, it's pretty blown up, but everything is just crystal clear, which is, really, really nice. So we'll keep bringing this down a little bit. I want to get it a little bit smaller. That's almost about what I like right there. Maybe even just a little bit bigger so you guys can, kind of see the icons on the thumbnail a bit more clear and see that it is themed and, it's kind of appealing looking. So we'll click on OK. And as you see, it kind of resized it and it got much more clear. So now the creative part comes into what else do you want in this thumbnail. Now, one thing that I really like to do with, recently at least, is I go to Google here and I'll go to a new tab and I'll just search out Cydia icon and a PNG version of that so that there's no background. So we'll go to images and I'll quickly select, I think it's this one that I normally use. I should have this saved on my computer, but I don't. Yes, this is it. So as you can see, this is a PNG image. There's no background. So we'll go ahead and drop that just below the thumbnail photo. And I'll minimize that and go back to Pixelator. I'm going to go ahead and drag this in. So there you go. As you can see, that's what it looks like right now. Now I'm going to do this a little different, I think. I like to have it on my desk so it looks, here, you'll see in a minute as I do this. So first thing I want to do is, let's see here. I think I'll change the opacity of that. As you can see, as you bring it down, it makes it a bit more clear. I usually like it, so it's not so punchy. Something about like, probably like 60% for opacity wise. And then I'll also go to the styles box here and I'll add the reflection because I do like the way that looks. It looks like it's almost sitting on my desk, and I'll make that so it's not so, super noticeable, which makes it look, a little bit better in my opinion. Now, another thing that I've been doing, instead of leaving it so it's crystal clear like that, is I like to add the blur effect since my camera makes everything so bokeh. Now that's blurred way too much, you can't even tell what it is. But if we just add just a little bit of blur, it almost looks like it's, sitting on my desk. So that's a pretty cool kind of look in my opinion, and this I'll actually kind of bring up and back a little bit more, I think, and I actually might change the opacity after blurring that because you can kind of see the background a little too easy. You can see through it. So that looks pretty cool in my opinion. Now we're going to add some text. Now I'm doing this the way I've been doing my newer videos because I don't know, just the text that you use and the styles that you make your thumbnails kind of evolve over time. So we got the text here. Now where I'm going to go with this is obviously I'm going to change the text to, I think I'll just do best tweaks. I think that looks pretty cool actually, just like that. So I might need to actually bring this up a little higher. Maybe we'll just put it like, no, see, it's coming into conflict with my mirror in the background now to me. I might need to turn the opacity up a bit more just so you can't see that as easily. That's a little bit better. Maybe we'll put it more to the left there. See, this is kind of just being creative and what your eye thinks, looks good. So this is actually needs to be above. As you guys can see on the layer side, when that's below that Cydia icon, it's hard to see, but that reflection is actually over the top of the text there. So we'll bring that back up. Sorry if this is kind of confusing. I'm trying to explain it the best I can. It's not exactly the easiest thing to explain. So now we have an issue here where that white reflection on my desk makes it so that you can't see the T in tweaks. You can still see best pretty easily, but the T and a little bit of the W are kind of hard to see. So I think the way that I'll fix that is I'll just see what this looks like if I change the color to like a dark gray or something like that. Not exactly what I want. Maybe we'll try just straight black, see what that looks like. Maybe change the opacity of the text a little bit so that it kind of, that looks kind of cool actually, just like that. I think that's pretty neat. I'm never a fan of the dark text, but this looks kind of cool in its own way. And I think I'll try to let me just get rid of the reflection on this. It's kind of throwing me off. I might not use a reflection on it. This all kind of evolves as you go. So let's remove that reflection. Maybe let's move the best tweaks more over to the center. And then I think maybe I'll resize this Not sure. I might get rid of the Cydia icon. It's not really working for this thumbnail for me, just because of the way the background is. It's got, you know, a really big difference between the black mirror and then the white reflection on my table. Another cool thing I could try is to have it kind of coming out from behind my hand or something like that. Not at that angle. I think we'll just get rid of that Cydia icon. Yeah. Let's click on OK. Let's just delete that layer. We'll just go with the text. Let's make it bigger, I think. Let's highlight it all by triple clicking on it. It's at 120, so let's try like 160. That's better. That looks pretty cool, actually, kind of like that. I can dig that right there, and then have the separation of the text be right on the edge of my table in the back, sort of, kind of like that. That's pretty neat, actually. I kind of like that. Best tweaks. That might be the thumbnail I'm just going to go with right there and call it a day for this video. Just kind of get a good look at it, and just for safety's sake, let me see what tweaks looks like as white. Yep, no, it disappears. Put that back to what's really dark gray look like. Yeah, that's not bad either, but I think the black. So yeah, we'll go with the black. And there's also a lot of different things you can do with text. Like if I highlight this, you can have a shadow for the text. As you guys can see now that the best looks a little bit different. That's actually not bad looking either. I might actually keep that. I typically don't use a shadow for the most part on my tech videos. On my gaming videos, yes, I do. You can also have a stroke, which is basically a line around your text. You'll select outside, and as you see, once I make the pixels bigger here, we want a color. No, go on my text. Color. There we go. So there you can see that is how you make your text have a border on Pixelmator. And if we blow this up a little bit, there we go. As you can see, that added that outline to the text, which is pretty cool. But again, I'm not going to use that for this. I think that the shadow looks, you know, pretty good like that. It gives it just a little bit of a 3D look, and obviously you're not going to see this thumbnail at this size on YouTube. So I think that's what I'm going to keep. I think that's going to be the thumbnail for the top 10 best tweaks that I just did. I'm going to keep it as that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, file, and export this as a PNG image. I just like to use PNG, and I'm going to rename it top 10 tweaks. I'll just leave it as that. I'll just put a 1 after it because I think I might have other thumbnails named that. We'll export it to my desktop. So there it is right there. That's the custom thumbnail I'm going to use for my YouTube video. Now, one other thing I got to do quickly while I have this open is actually make a thumbnail for my blog, which is going to be the same dimension but a different size. So we'll do new, and it's going to be scaled to half that size. So we're going to do 640, which is half of 1280, and then 360, which is obviously half of 720. So we'll click on OK with that, and then I'll quickly take that thumbnail in which I just created and drop it in, and I'm just going to quickly resize this to fit this window and export it. So just keep bringing this down, and there is indicators right there that it is at the correct size, and make sure it's completely centered. Click on OK, and then I'll go File, Export, and then I'll do PNG, and then also top 10 tweaks EID, so that I know that it's for my blog, and export that as well. So then I'll just minimize that, and that is all there is to it, guys. That is how I create custom thumbnails. That's a pretty basic version. If you guys want me to do like another thumbnail for a different, different style video in the future, maybe like a product review, something that's different than a top 10 tweaks video, just let me know in the comments if you guys want more tutorials on Pixelmator. That was just kind of a really basic, quick crash course on what I do. but I can get more in depth with it and do different things with it so you guys can see. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this quick tutorial on how I make YouTube thumbnails, definitely throw me a thumbs up. That really helps me out a lot. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Links are down in the description. And if you guys want to see more tutorials like this, don't forget to click that subscribe button. This has been Jeremy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.